Hello and welcome back. Today we're doing another Try Hack Me box. This one's exposed, it's relatively new, and its difficulty rating is easy. Now if we have a look down here, you'll see that we're only going for 2 flags today. I've already got the box up, so let's go ahead and grab this IP address. Let's put it in here so we can get that variable set to make it a little bit easier and not have to retype the IP address every time. I'm just going to go ahead and set it up here, and I like to have a tab for different tools and things like that. First thing we'll need to do is a scan on the box to see what we can find, and I have a script that I've made. I've got a couple of them actually. This one, nscan full, which I'll show these scripts in a Python video I'll be doing, will run a detailed Enmap on the target, and while that one runs, we will run its fast variant, and this will just give us some information so we can get started with. Alright, so we got port 21, 22, 53 is open. So let's go ahead and see if we can FTP anonymously into the machine. And we can. And there's nothing listed. Can we make a directory? Nope. Alright, so probably can't do anything there. Let's go see. Yeah, here we go. So as you can see what it does a basic fast scan just to find the port so we can go ahead and start work on it. And then it runs a second scan here and it will dump out more detailed information. So as we can see here, run version 208, SSH 8.2, combined versions 916. Nothing really too useful there. So I will cut away and I'll come back once this full scan gets done. We'll see if anything turned up over there. Alrighty, so the first part of this full scan is done, and there goes the rest of it. Let's scroll back up here. Alright, so as you can see, we've got 2 other ports found. One runs something called waste, and the other one is MQTT. First stuff right here is the same. Now here, our 1337 port, we see it's an HTTP protocol, Apache, and exposed is the name of the page. Okay, and this one, mosquito version. Okay, so this looks like to be some type of chat service. Alright, that could probably be a little complex, so let's go ahead and take a look at this first one here. Let's see that IP address. Let me just make sure I got it copied, make it a little bit easier to throw in here. Okay, we got the page loaded. Let's take a look at the source. Wow, nothing here. Very basic. Okay, just to check. Robots? Nope, no robot file. Well, we have a website, so let's go ahead and actually let me go grab location of this, and let's go ahead and run a directory scan. And I like to use Foof. I know other people like to use Derby, Dirbuster, GoBuster, several different directory tools, but this one just happens to be the one that I like. And I like to shorten the amount of things it shows. This just is match case. This is result 200, which means page was found, and result 301, which is a redirect. Those are the only ones I'm really interested in. And I did not enter something right. Let me look over that. Oh yeah, I forget that every time. You have to put that in there. There we go. So we'll let that run. And I'm going to come over here. Wow, that copied a lot more than I meant to. And what was that other port number? 1883. Let's go take a look at that real quick. Okay, connection reset. So it's probably an API interface then. Alright, so I'll hop back once this gets done and we'll take a look at the results. Alrighty, now we got everything done here. I did restart it because I noticed that right here I had the protocol in twice, which was slowing it down. It wasn't getting any results. So and it seemed to find these 4 pages: admin, admin_101, JavaScript, PHP my admin. So we'll just go down the list and look at each one. So let's go to admin first. Okay, we get a login prompt. Let's take a look at the source code real quick. That's going to be your setup for the page, your CSS section right there. Is this the right admin portal? And nothing else in the code. So real quick, let's see if we do a SQL injection, see if anything happens. And I'm using the 1 or 1 equals 1 method. It doesn't look like anything happens here. Alright, let's go check out this other admin page. This auto-loaded a username in it. Let's take a look. Yeah, right here, text email class, value. There's the username we see there in that value. Oh, okay, and we got some JavaScript in here. So it looks like when you submit, there's that click function, includes user login.php. So it takes the data you give it and it's posting it to this PHP page, passing your email and password in as values. And if it comes back both success, then you get loaded into the chat.php page. Okay, so real quick, we'll try the same simple injection trick there. And error. Well, at least we got a response on this one. Let's close that. Let's see, what else did we have here? JavaScript. Let's go see if we can take a look in that real quick. Forbidden, which that's good. That's what you want to see. Shouldn't have outside access to that. And the PHP My Admin page, does it load? Does. So again, we'll just try typing that in correctly. There we go. Huh, interesting. So we're not able to, whoa, okay, that's a lot of stuff. Wow, okay, that's too much. All right, so out of these four, it looks like Admin 101 is going to be our best start. So there's a couple of ways we can go about this. If you want to try a few different techniques, feel free to. That's one of the nice things about these boxes. You can always play around, try new techniques, see if you can find another way in. But this one, it came down to a combination of tools you have to use and some interesting tricks. So the first thing we're going to do is fire burp up. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to capture the packet when we attempt to log in. And then we're going to do something that I just recently learned that you could do with a tool called SQLMap. All right, so we'll just do admin for the password, continue, forward that to repeater, get our error message, turn that off there. So as you can see, it does a post. It goes to that user login PHP we saw in the source code for the page. There's our session cookie, there's username, there's password, and plain text. So what I found interesting is a technique where you copy all this and then you save it, and you can save it to a file, and I'll cover that because that could get really annoying. And we will just create a document and call it rec for request. There it goes. Save it. So now what we can do, clear that. We can always rerun if need be. Collapse that terminal. And what we're going to want to do is run SQLMap, and the option that I just recently learned about is -R. And this is a replay request, basically. We want to tell it the file name, and we also want it to dump any information that it finds instead of just saving it straight to a file, although we'll ask us later if we want to save some stuff. But I'm going to fast forward through this and probably just skip and get back to the end, because as much as I love this tool, it is very detailed and very thorough, and it takes a while. So I will see you when it's completed. Okay, and it's finished. So it looks like it was able to find a entry for that user, and it gave its password right here. So let's go ahead and take that, pop it in. There it goes. We're at capacity right now. Interesting. Not much there. Now it also did find these. So let's go take a look at these pages it found. We'll go this one first, and then we'll see about that hash there. Paste that in. All right, so it is asking for a password off the bat. So let's grab this, and we will go to crackstation.net. Throw that in. And it found it. Easy to hack. So we come back here, and we are able to get in. Perimeter fuzzing is also important, or can you hide DOM elements? So it looks like it gives us two options here. So we take a look at the source code real quick. Hint, try file or view as get parameters. So what it's talking about is up here. If you've ever seen question mark and then some text after it, that's what it's talking about. Fuzzing and file parameters is what you always want you to do up here. So we'll do this, kind of like when you use the change directory command, you do the / to go back. And we're going to see if we can get password file off the server, and easy to hack. So this file, if you don't know what the passwd file is, this basically has a list of all user accounts on there and just different information about their session. And I see it right here. It's going to be a username that we want to hold on to. So let me open up mousepad up here, throw that in. We go back, we look at this second URL, only accessible through a username starting with the Z. And we just found one. Let's grab this, and we'll get rid of all of this in the URL. Throw that down. And now it's asking us for that name. So let's copy that, enter, and we're at an upload page. View page source. Take a look what we got here. Navigation bar. Oh, good comments, so we know what's what. Footer, and here we go. Function. So it takes the file that we give it, takes the name, splits it on the dots, pops the last one, make sure it's lowercase with file extension, so that's just stripping it down to whatever the final extension information is, and if it equals JPEG or PNG, file upload successfully. Valid file extension proceed with file upload. If else, it's invalid, saying only JPEG and PNG files are allowed. We're on the web, we know it's PHP, we got an upload, so every box is ticked for one of my favorite tools. We'll clear this. We're going to locate PHP reverse shell, and if I remember right, I think it's this first one here. Let's call it rev shell. Let's open it up because we do need to go down here and we need to add our IP address, which thankfully TryHackMe has it right up here, 10.6.23.151. 10.6.23.151. There we go. And I like to leave it on that port. So in this, you put the IP address and you change the port down here if you want to, but I'll leave it on there. Let's come back over here. Get rid of that. So we're going to have to call it PHP because when we eventually try to trigger this, we want it to know it is a PHP file. And there's a little trick we're going to do here. We'll do a capital D .png. So what we're doing here is giving the extension PNG so it can pass through that validation process, but we're going to use burp to capture this, and we're going to modify this D and do an interesting little trick with it. So now let's navigate back to the folder. There it is. Tell it to open. And before we submit, make sure we're on burp, upload, and go back to proxy. And right here where it says file name, highlight that D, then come over here to code and make it a null byte. Let's hit forward. And what's interesting is that null byte, the way it kind of works on the back end is it will drop anything after it in that file name variable. So when it gets it in there, it'll just be reverse shell.php. So main content down here, file upload successfully, that's what we just saw, and hidden in /upload THM 101001 folder. So let's take that, copy it, and we'll get rid of index because it looks like it's going to be a subdirectory to this. So you can see this is the file when we originally uploaded it, and there is what we're actually going to use. So before we click on it, let's come over here and we'll just get netcat running, and we'll click on this one and it should hang. There we go. And there we go. Looks like we are in. So we'll see where we're currently at. We're at root. Now you have a couple options here. Normally you can go dig around the website folders, which would be usually in var/www. Oh yeah, change directory var. Let's do it. All right, there's an HTML folder here. So there you can see the different pages that we were looking at. First file we use for that local file inclusion exploit to get to the password file. And then what we just use to upload to get this shell. We're not going to go digging through all that. We are going to go over to the home directory. And as you can see, there's our user. So we're just going to change into his directory. Can I clean? Oh yeah, I'm not in the right terminal for that. So what do we have here? We got bash history, profile, we got a flag, and we got creds. SSH creds. Looks like we should be able to read it. If you don't know, when you're looking at this first one denotes if it's a directory or not. These first three is permissions for the owner. The second three are permissions for the group level. And the last three are permissions for everybody else. Let's take a look. And we got some creds. So still the same username. We'll copy that. Now let's go ahead and exit out of here. If I can type exit correctly. There we go. Yes. And easy to hack at 123. All right, there we go. We're in as a user. As you can see, we got the flag there. So we'll just cat that flag out if we can spell the name of the file right. There we go. So we'll just copy that. Go back over here to our first. And there's our first flag M. So now let's come back, clear this real quick. So anytime I'm in like this in a box and I want to try to get to root, the first thing I've gotten a habit of doing is sudo -l. So I wanted to ask us for the password again, so that's easy to hack at 123. And what this will do is that the user you're currently as, if there's anything it's allowed to run sudo with, it will list it out, and sometimes you don't even need a password. But as we can see right here, you're not allowed to run sudo at all. The other thing that's a good habit to check is for files that are set up to where we can execute them, but they execute with root privileges. And the way you find those, go find /perm for permissions -041230 zeros, then type F for file, and we want it to list all of them, and then any place that it's not able to go to, like folders that you need root permission to get into, we're just going to tell it to send those error messages to the null folder so we don't see them. And over here on this side is where it's listing everything. We're going to let it finish because what we're interested in is anything in the user bin folder. And we've got some stuff you kind of expect to see: unmount, password, new group, nano, su, find. So the biggest interesting thing here is nano. Now to test this real quick, we're just going to run nano, and this is always a good guess that the flag is in the root folder like that. There we go. There's the root flag, so we'll just copy that. And we have the box complete. I hope you enjoyed today's video. The box, even though it was easy, did have a few challenging points on it, and a couple of moments where I had to go dig up some old notes, look through to kind of figure out what to do next. Overall, it was a good box, hit on a lot of good points, and really challenges you to think and to explore and try not to go down rabbit holes. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. It really does help, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you all, and I'll see you next week.